Stop saying you're the Olmecs. Stop saying you're the Aztecs, because you're not.
More bedpan African goofies. Let me cook though. You see how he went from Olmec to Aztec and just jumped over the Mayans, right? Well, this behind me is a painting or a mural of the Mayan people. They painted themselves, called the Bonaparte murals. Now, pay attention, right? You see Cuz over there, fat boy with his belly hanging out, right? Probably about to eat some, cook some. Then you see the sisters up there. You pay attention to their hairstyle. You see them locks poking out the back. You see the wrap around their hair and all that. It looked real familiar. It looked like some shit that we still do today, because we do, motherfucker. Y'all know this is my favorite one, right? Because you can clearly see they locks. And ain't no mistaking this shit unless you just willfully ignorant. And I can keep going and going and going, and they all copper colored people, like my people, right? But they're from this region. You see where it says Yucatan right there, all the way to the Mosquito Coast. You see where it says Nicaragua, Honduras, and all of that. It's a coast over there called Mosquito Coast. I wonder why that is and what type of people live there, right? And you see how close it is to Jamaica, Cuba, and all of that, right? All those same people. Now, if you know the history of the American slave trade, quote unquote, right? You know they were sending Mayan people from, that area to Jamaica, to Cuba, to South Carolina, to Florida, and then we traveled there ourselves too, centuries and centuries before, if you know the Creek migration, story or ledger, right? This is just another map, but a little broader spectrum, so you can see, the distance, more of a realistic distance to places, right? From places and all of that. But you see it say La Mosquito. Now I could pull out more sources and all that, but I'd rather make it just simplistic for you guys, right? Skeletal remains of ancient Mayans indicate that some may have suffered from sickle cell anemia, SSA, an illness associated with sub-Saharan Africa's. Dodge the hijack. 1929, S. Moore published an article, Journal of the Missouri Medical Association, that discussed bone changes in sickle cell anemia and similar changes in the skulls of ancient Mayans. Other anthropologists have found that SSA, which is sickle cell anemia, skeletons at pre-Columbian sites in Mexico. So they found the same shit in Mexico too, and probably further down south too, because we've been here. Then you want to know who it affects, right? So the sickle cell disease affects around 100,000 people in the United States, though the exact number is unknown. It's the most common inherited blood disorder in the country, and occurs in about 1 in every 365 Black or African American births. We know those are misnomers, so dodge the hijack. And 1 in every 16,300 Hispanic American births. More than 90% of the people with sickle cell disease in the U.S. are Black or African American, and about 3 to 9% are Hispanic or Latino. So what that tells you is that we're the one with the most, right? It's simple as day. Then Hispanics or Latinos are the ones with the second most inherited, but it's very rare within them. But that's because they're mixed with us. That's why they are the second most to inherit that blood they call disorder. And then also to add on to that, a symptom of sickle cell anemia is having anemia, and that's why our people, as in the melanated Americans here, are the ones that's found with the most anemia in the country, which means you need more iron in your blood or in your system, meaning we're not eating what we're used to eating, like all of our indigenous vegetables that's high concentrated in iron. We don't eat it as much as we used to. like, you know, string beans, green beans, which are indigenous to the Americas, collard greens, all of that type of stuff, which are indigenous to America, right? We don't consume it as high a portion as we used to. Now we're consuming more meat, which we did back then, but not as much as we did fruits and vegetables, right? Now I got pull up primary sources, more primary sources, because those Bonaparte murals are fucking primary source, right? But I can go in my books and pull up primary sources and all that other shit. But I think I made my point here. Yo, if you African, take your ass to Africa and mind your African business, because they need a lot of help over there. They need a lot of infrastructure, a lot of shit. You feel me? Get they fucking pipes right. You know what I mean? Get their irrigation systems right. You understand? Help them with agriculture. Help them set up different economic things that'll help build them, instead of over here trying to tell us who we are. Do your fucking genealogy, clown.